Hi, I'm Hoodie here, and I decided that after giving my dwarves so many jobs either digging or hauling, that I should devote my next project to building something they could enjoy. So I built them a prison. I didn't want it to just be any generic prison though. I wanted a prison that could act as a sort of colony in the cavern, like an Australia of the caves. With that idea in mind, the project began with us digging around the cavern for a little bit, looking for a good spot to build it. Eventually, I found somewhere that I thought could work, and we broke into the cavern, which was initially exciting, and then instantly terrifying when I thought I saw a forgotten beast leaning against one of the walls. The good news was that it was just the corpse of a forgotten beast. The bad news was that the thing that killed it was a much scarier, apparently much more powerful forgotten beast, and it was just a little bit farther away. However, its 3 eyes and 8 legs proved to be no match for the peasant army, as it was killed without landing a blow. But still, the presence of such a variety of forgotten beast body parts littered around the cavern had us on high alert, and so the army was stationed in the middle of the building zone to offer protection should anyone else try to interrupt us. With the cavern settled, we first dug out some stone and chopped some trees to open up the space. Then we marked out the walls of the prison. As I was waiting for those to be built, we had our first uninvited guest, a one-eyed shrike with a poisonous bite. It wasn't hard work to kill, but it was a bit rude, you know? If these forgotten beasts could just wait around, they would have plenty of prisoners to eat, but instead they rush in and get themselves killed. Such a waste. With the forgotten beast dealt with, we got back to work. The walls were finished and iron doors were placed on the side of the cell accessible by the fortress, while bridges were built on the side of the cell accessible by the cavern. To give the place a little bit of class, some stone flooring was put in over the moss in the hallway, though the cells were left empty. We couldn't risk leaving the ceiling uncovered for any creepy crawly to climb through, and so we built stairs going up to a second level that would function as the captain of the guard's living/workspace, as well as a roof for the prison. Once the floors and walls had been built, we installed levers that would be used to lower the bridges in the cells and release the prisoners. After some linking and a little bit of decorating, that was briefly interrupted by yet another impatient and weak forgotten beast, we withdrew the peasant army from the cavern and raised the bridges, once again locking us off from the dangers that lurked down there. With the prison built, we needed a prison warden, aka a captain of the guard, and so Eshten was chosen because he had a confirmed kill of a forgotten beast among his long list of kills, and if killing lots of things doesn't qualify someone to run a prison, what does? Because we had gone without a captain of the guard for the first 10 years of this fort, there was a bit of a backlog of crimes. Once Eshten was hired, he immediately went to work bringing Kulet and Shorast down to the prison to face their month-long sentences for violating production orders. I wanted at least a third person in the prison before I released them, but it turned out that the third person facing jail time was unconscious in the hospital, and so couldn't exactly face the music. Eventually, after a door got blocked by a sock that refused to get thrown out, both Kulet and Shorast were freed before they could be exposed to the caverns. I thought about waiting for some more crimes to be committed, but instead decided that the benefit of having such a long list of cold cases was that I could accuse anyone I didn't like of committing a crime, and they would be sent to jail, no questions asked. And so I falsely accused 3 dwarves, whose negative attitudes were bringing down the mood, of various crimes. One by one they were brought down to the prison and locked into cages. Once they were secured, the doors were locked, the bridges were lowered, and the cages were released. Almost immediately after the prisoners were able to leave their cells, they discovered, and were chased by, reptile people. That might have been the end for the 2 civilian prisoners had they not had Meng trapped in the cavern with them. He single-handedly killed 6 or so reptile men, and was just happy to be out of a cage at the end of it. His happiness didn't last for long though, as he and the other prisoners struggled to find food or water. Food made sense because I hadn't left them anything, but the struggle for water was a bit more inexplicable. Eventually, the lack of food and water took the lives of Meng and Eshten, prisoner Eshten, not captain of the guard Eshten, leaving only Eater behind. He too seemed like he would starve or inexplicably dehydrate to death, until a pack of war jabberers rolled through the cavern and tore out his throat. With that, the prison experiment was a resounding success. We had 3 fewer annoying dwarves to deal with around the fortress, and a fully operational prison with which we could do the same thing again in the future. Sure, the dwarves hadn't forged a new life down there like it was an Australia of the caves, but if we keep sentencing annoying dwarves and criminals to life in the caverns, surely someone's gotta stick. To finish off the project and document what happened, we opened up a new exhibit in the museum, complete with 4 iron cages, an iron statue of a jabberer, and an iron statue of the Baroness of New Dwarf City weeping as a dwarf is tortured for violating one of her many production orders. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.